I just lost my job today. No warning, no nothing. They wouldn't even tell me why. I don't know. I didn't do anything wrong. I have no savings. I have nothing. I just don't. I got in the exit interview and they said, today's gonna be your last day. My manager, my director was on the call. And then they were like, the decision has already been made, so we really don't have anything to hear from you. You're only gonna get paid for the one day you worked in August. And we'll give you your commission check, and that's the last of it. And end the call on me. I'm low. I'm low.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Not a fun one today, but it's something that is going on that's real, and so we want to learn from it if we can. What am I speaking about? All of the job losses that you may have experienced or someone close to you has experienced, and if you haven't, you ought to thank the man above that it's not come to you. I feel for all of those that have lost their jobs, because how do you take care of things? So not going to be laughing and joking. It's not a laughing and joking matter because people's livelihoods are at stake. But I do hope to provide some insight if you're going through this process and a solution towards the end. Before I do that, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert, and on this channel, the goal is to simplify the home loan process. Why? Because I'm a lender. My NMLS license number is 180100. What I want to encourage all of you, including myself, not just in times like these, but you got to have some type of cushion, some type of reserve account, because life is going to life. And there's only so much you can do to prepare. Don't get me wrong, but do as much as you can. And in my mind, minimum, that's a 3-month runway, minimum 3 months of whatever your expenses are. So you got to take some time, you got to pay attention to where the money's flowing, and then give an account of what do I need to keep this thing going if something happens like a job loss unexpectedly, and I need time to figure out what my next move is. 3 months minimum, the more the merrier. Now, hopefully she was in a position where she can tap into her unemployment insurance. That's something that you can use. And then the last thing I would say, and this is going to be a recurring theme as we go through the video, is you always got to have something else working, especially nowadays. It's very competitive and everybody's in a contraction mode, meaning I'm getting the most out of my dollars. So I don't know if the time will ever come back, but gone are the times where you have 5 or 10 people just on payroll just because your process was analog. Those days are leaving. So I wish you well. Let's move on.
I am getting laid off in 3 hours. Have you ever been a part of a corporate layoff? Because it is fun. So here's what happens if you haven't been a part of it. Basically, someone will let you know that a whole bunch of people got laid off, like at the top. And you'll be like, what? And then you'll start texting around with all your friends. And then the HR invites start to go out. They're like 15-minute slots. And so then begins hours of texting everyone you know. Did you get the HR invite? Did you get an HR invite? Are you safe? Is your meeting 15 minutes or is it like 30 minutes to an hour? Because that usually is a longer discussion about a transition into a new role, right? But the 15-minute ones are pretty clear. It's like, hi, thanks a lot, see you later. So I got my 15-minute invite for noon today. Obviously broke out crying. kind of planning on leaving anyway. I think we all were. The writing was all on the wall. But, bills. Money. I would love to sit around and do nothing, focus on self-care. But instead, it will be a scramble to find the next source of a paycheck, and that sucks. I do have this feeling like it's going to be okay. I do get that when I'm someone where it's harder for me with the potential of a threat. Then I panic. What if? But when shit actually hits the fan, my brain rallies. That's when it gets like, we're going to figure it out. It's going to be okay. It's meant to happen. You knew this was coming. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, there's always a way. It's a gift, you're thinking of every movie scene, like Sound of Music. Whenever God closes a door, somewhere he opens a window. That's a terrible, terrible accent. But the whole fixing up your resume thing, ChatGPT has made that a much less painful process. And then you go through this like weird morning, how like everything you were working on that you were stressing out over the last couple of weeks was a big waste of time because somebody knew that you weren't going to have a job and that all these Excels and PowerPoints were for nothing. Oh, so I'm just not going to see any of my friends again. Oh, okay. Oh, I need to get from the office. Then you're like, insurance. You and all your laid off friends call each other. And we all just say, I'm so sorry. And then you're like, I'm sorry too. It's just scary. So I welcome any words of encouragement if you have any.
Told you it was going to be a tough one. Heart goes out to her as well. You said it best. When one door is closed, other opportunities that have been there and you didn't see them because of, you had that box checked. Now they present themselves to you. I pray that you're able to capitalize on one of those opportunities. But she said a lot. Here's the deal. When you're working, we tend to just put everything else on the side. So I would recommend minimum once a year, you update your resume. Keep your resume updated. Number 2, she mentioned ChatGPT, AI, or large language models. Always stay current with the new technology because you don't want to find yourself in a position where you're so far away removed from what's going on now that if you have to start back over and get back in the mix, it's just like you're going to another country and you're having to learn to speak a newer language. And the older you get, for a lot of people, the more difficult that is. And I don't believe it has to do with age. It just has to do with so many years have gone by and you've not touched something. And some of those muscles atrophy. So stay relevant, stay current with what's going on. I'm not going to say be detached from folks that you work with, because obviously if you spend a lot of time with people, depending on your personality type, you will develop a relationship. But one thing my dad always taught me, and it's just always stuck in my mind, I always keep a hierarchy, org chart, if you will, in my mind. And at the end of the day, it's business. Meaning, I got to check. When I get my paycheck on whatever frequency that is, they fulfilled their side of the contract, unless you have some other contractual obligations for pensions and things of that nature. But I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. Depending on who you are, that may be more traumatizing, but just try to keep that in your mind at any given time. This can be over. And I think lastly, before we move forward, if you have that mindset, then you're always checking up. So once a year, resume. Understand that your relationships that you develop with these folks at work could end at any time. And as a result of that, you're going to stay relevant and current with the things that are going on today, just in case you have to, or you find yourself back in a position where you're having to compete with people that are more current. I think this time is great for all of us to reevaluate what's a need, what's a necessity. Because if something like this pops up, those folks that have been living beneath their means and keeping their expenses low, don't stress as much. And again, that gives you an opportunity to see those things that are before you, and you're able to get back on your feet faster than folks that have a lot of other stressors. So thank you for sharing your story. Again, I wish you well. Let's move forward.
This is the difference between people that are landing job offers and getting told no, whether it's at an average company or the best companies in the world. And this is for both people that have incredible backgrounds, went to the best universities in the world, or for McKinsey, Bain, BCG, or someone that's just in a basic sales role, went to an average school, went to no college, doesn't matter. If you're not compelling or charismatic in your interview, you're going to get passed up on. That's the reality of the job market today. You have to win over the people that you interview with to eventually get an offer. 100%. Another thing too, especially in sales, if you're saying that you're a top performer, you need to have a compelling answer as to why you're a top performer. And if you don't have that, you're going to get passed up on. So I think the key thing to remember is you don't need to be too professional in your interview process. You need to be fun, charismatic, compelling, excited about the role, and they need to believe that, or else you're going to get passed up on. This is coming from someone I'm a full-time recruiter. I have my own agency. I'm working with the best startups across the country. This is the feedback that I'm seeing 99% of the time from people that are a good fit for the role but don't get it. Not compelling or charismatic enough. It's that simple, especially for sales.
Sage advice from a young man that's in the field in a very important role that can shed some hope, some light, some insight to those of you that are looking for a job. And I love what he's saying because he's accurate, from someone who has employed people to work with me. I don't like to say for me. The times have changed. When he mentions charismatic and what was the other word he used? Compelling. Two powerful words. Okay. And what I hear from that is this: authenticity, right? As he said, you don't have to be so professional and robotic like it was before 2010, where you could lie on a resume and pencil whip it and fool folks. You're in a position where you're looking for employment, and with everything being online and social networks and the ramifications thereof, you have to understand that. But we're looking for somebody that's real, authentic. Even on these platforms, I'm noticing a turn back to show me something real. All of this produced stuff and mask and all the stuff that you put on, are you real? And the employer wants to know the same thing. Number two, are you positive, authentic, problem solver? And then what do you know how to do? Don't give me 1,000-word soup salad. And he's in the tech industry. That's a show me type situation. But if you're coming from a scenario out of school and what have you, while you were in school, did you have some internships? What did you do to show what you know how to do? And then we can direct you in the path in which we want you to go as far as pay is concerned, because this is another thing that I'm seeing, guys, going forward. We're not robots and machines. You have to be creative and productive. There are some roles that are supportive, but those are going away. So this is a change that a lot of us that don't have this mindset have to make. And watching recruiters and folks that are in it daily, he's the middleman between the job and the employee. Very sage advice, and he kept it real and really boiled it down. Hopefully that information was good for you if you find yourself in a position where you're looking to get back into a place of employment from being unemployed. So my time is up, guys, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. And if you like videos like this, you might want to check out this one right here. And until the next time, indeed, y'all stay blessed.